There's been a lot of talk about Turning Point lately, and what was the name of the other organization? What? I can't hear you. Child, no, that other organization. American First. And so they got something going on. I have with me Joe Basrawi. Joe Basrawi. He is the host of Cup of Joe. Cup of Joe. He's a Turning Point USA ambassador, and he's here with us today, and I absolutely appreciate it. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Hey, Jesse, how's it going?
All is well. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. And so you're the host of Cup of Joe. What is your show about primarily?
I like to talk about three things, and that's politics, philosophy, and theology. So I try to keep it around those lines. Recently, the show's been on hold because I've been moving a lot. So once everything's settled, hopefully within a week or two, it'll be back on.
Amazing. And is it true that you're a Turning Point USA ambassador?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Pretty much what we do is we are promoters for the organization. That's pretty much all we do. We're not on payroll, nothing like that.
Oh, okay. And that Turning Point is Charlie Kirk, the founder of Turning Point?
Yep.
Oh, okay. And so what is Turning Point about exactly?
To me at least, Turning Point is about, teaching college students what, conservatism truly is. Free markets, free people, free thought. And that's something that's not taught today in college or universities around the country.
And so why did you decide to get involved?
I decided to get involved back when I was in college. I was struggling to find other people that had the same values as I did. So I started a chapter and started recruiting. And, my first meeting I had when I had my chapter, we had over 50 people. And I found out there's a lot more people like me in this university. And it brought people together. And we were able to see a lot of different points of view as well, because conservatism isn't only one umbrella. There's a lot of different types of conservatism underneath. So I got to see a lot of people's different perspectives, and we got to let a lot of people on the left to come to our meetings so we can hear from them as well. So I think that was really useful to learn.
And so are you a Republican?
Yeah.
Republican conservative. And there's a battle in the conservative movement going on. Are you familiar with that?
Very familiar with it, yeah.
And what is that battle, in your opinion?
Oh, I've been seeing recently, and it truly doesn't have much to do with, Nick Fuentes or Turning Point USA. It has to do with the different types of conservatism that are underneath this umbrella that's called just the conservative umbrella. And we've been seeing a lot of people, such as the America First, Groypers, what they call themselves, something like that, where they're taking what they call themselves are traditional conservatives. They paint a facade where they are, oh, no, we're not racist, we're not anti-Semitic, we're not, we're just America First, we want the best for this country. But when you really look deeper into their policy and what they want implemented, they're nowhere near the American idea, the idea of what America was supposed to be like. And to be quite honest with you, they want more government, not less government involvement. And that's so far from conservatism. They're actually, and I would confidently say this, more left than they are right.
And so what was America supposed to be?
America was supposed to be a country, well, I would say is right now, a country where you have free exchange of ideas. You have opportunity for all people around the world to come to this country and make a name for themselves. And Nick Fuentes and the America First movement, what they want is zero immigration whatsoever. And they haven't really come up with a plan as to for how long or anything.
Who wants zero immigration? Turning Point or the other group?
The other people.
And what's wrong with that?
Wrong with that is that I believe it's against what America stands for.
To let all these people in?
Well, to let the right people in is one major thing. We need to make sure that when we let people in, they're qualified. When we let people in, that they are here for a true, real purpose. We vet them. We make sure they're good people. They're qualified to be in this country, and we let them in. You go to a place like New York City, it's full of immigrants. There's a lot of businesses out there. Typically, when immigrants come to this country, they build businesses or they build a career for themselves. So we need more immigrants like that. Doesn't mean we need zero immigrants. And by the way, the reason why they want zero immigrants is for purely political reasons. They bring up, 70% of immigrants vote Democrat. Well, to me, that sounds like a Republican outreach issue. Republican Party sucks at reaching out to minority groups and to immigrant groups around the country. They absolutely suck at that. That is an issue with the party. That's not an issue with the immigrants themselves.
So does Turning Point want a wall around the border?
Yeah.
And they want to stop the illegal aliens from coming in?
Of course.
Does Turning Point want more people coming in through the front door?
Well, I think this is a mainstream conservative idea.
To let more people in the front door?
Well, not necessarily more people in general, but if someone's going to come into this country, they have to go through the fair process that we have. My family were immigrants. And
where are you from?
It's actually interesting. I'm from Israel, Colombia, and I have some Spaniard in me.
Oh, I knew you looked kind of different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were not born in America?
No, I was. My family wasn't.
Oh, okay. And so there are a lot of people who are born here who cannot. I mean, it's better now because of the Great White Hope, the president, but they can't find jobs, they can't find living quarters and things like that. Do you think that we should shut the front door as well as the back door, clean up the mess, send all the illegals back, and people who have overstayed their visas and all that, clean up the mess, and if we need more people, let them in the right way? Should we do that?
So I completely agree with the idea that if we can't take care of other people, if we can't take care of our own people, we should be taking care of others.
Right.
But you're right. There are people that can't find jobs, that are living in the streets and whatnot. But if we really look at where those places are, where the majority of those issues are, they're in majority Democratic areas and cities in the country. So you see that a lot in LA. You see that a lot in most places in California, New York, and other places. When you go to some other countries that are more, not countries, but states that are more red, you see a lower poverty rate, you see a higher employment rate. And I think that we need to start implementing more conservative policies, because we've seen it's been working now that Trump's been president for 3 years now. We see that it's working for the economy. So I don't think we should. I think we should lower, personally, I think we should lower the immigration, how many people we're bringing in. We bring in 1 million out of the 2 million immigrants in the world every single year. That's a lot. And I think we need to lower that so that, I agree with you. We need to take care of our own people.
Yeah, especially the blacks, because I grew up on a plantation in Alabama under the Jim Crow laws, right? And I know that a lot of black people moved away from Alabama to the big cities. When they moved to the big cities, they were not, for whatever reason, they relied on the government and did not really do for themselves. Now they're stuck in that mode. The president is making it possible that those folks get off government and start being more, independent, taking care of themselves by creating jobs and other things. Shouldn't we close the door so that those people can pull themselves up and then rethink this thing all over again?
Well, I think that the status quo of this country, where we're at right now, if you are not employed, not having a livable wage, not anything like that, then there's something that you personally are doing wrong at this point right now.
Absolutely.
So I think that what's closing the borders going to do?
It'll help clean up the mess, and then we can reopen at the front door once we figure out who want to come in and do we need them and blah, blah, blah.
Well, right now there are more jobs available than there are people looking for jobs. So who's gonna fill up those jobs?
The blacks will.
Well, I'm saying that there's more jobs available right now than there are people looking for jobs.
No, we have to take them off. There are a whole lot of folks still on welfare who are not looking. So if we take away the welfare check, they will have to look, and then those jobs will be taken.
Okay, I mean, right now we have under President Trump in the last 3 years, we've had 6 million people off welfare,
right?
Which is a great thing.
But
and we've been seeing that unemployment has been lowering. I mean, Trump has been breaking records almost every single day right now.
Yeah, he's doing an amazing job. You know, I call him the Great White Hope, right?
I see that now.
So he's doing an amazing job. It's just that we need to get more of these people off welfare, and I believe he's the man to get that done, so that they will go to work and never go back to the Democratic Party under false promises. I want to ask, you said that Nick, is it Fuentes?
Fuentes or something.
Fuentes. Nick Fuentes group want more government, right?
I believe that there's more government involvement there.
And what do they want? Why do you say that?
Well, there's one thing I've been seeing from Nick Fuentes is that he tends to believe this country is a white Christian country, in a sense, a theocracy, as well as an ethno-state. So he wants more government involvement in a sense of keeping white America alive, which is something that we've been seeing from the far alt-right for many years. And by the way, he claims he's not in the alt-right, although he was with Richard Spencer in Charlottesville. And he claims to hate Richard Spencer, although he seemed to be friendly with him back in Charlottesville. But he wants more government involvement in the sense of, I've been seeing some of them. Maybe it's not Nick personally, but his followers, where they say that, they would want to not only close the borders, but possibly, again, send people back, and unless they're white Europeans. And Nick Fuentes is also against race mixing, which, I mean, that's in of itself kind of interesting when you look into that. There's a clip of him, and I don't want to misquote it, but something around the lines of him saying that if you were to have relations with a dog versus a black man, they would be just as degenerate. So this sort of policy
he said that.
He puts. Yeah, there's a clip of it. If you want, I can email it to you.
Are you quoting it correctly, or are you adding to it, or taking
no,
away
that's
from
verbatim. That's verbatim. Okay. I'm not going to pull it up now, but I posted on my Instagram story recently of him saying that, and it's those sort of ideologies is a sense of getting into your personal life, getting into your taking away your freedoms and liberties in order to keep a white America. So that sort of rhetoric is what's scary here.
Let me ask, is it true that white people, and especially white, straight, conservative men of power, are under attack? Everybody blame them for everything, and they're not allowed to disagree. They're not allowed to speak up. Is that true that that's happening in America?
I think that's true, yeah.
And so, agreeing that that's true, what are white people to do, since they are the founder and the creator of the greatest country on this side of heaven, and the people come in and the first thing they want to do is attack them and blame them? What are white people to do about that situation?
I think that's a cultural thing that's to worry about. But I'll tell you this, closing the borders and trying to keep a white America alive and using that sort of rhetoric that Nick Fuentes is using isn't going to make the situation any better.
But you do agree that white people founded and created this country, right?
The founding fathers were white.
Right, and they created the greatest country on this side of heaven, right?
Yeah, but is it
right?
The American idea was not supposed to be an ethno-state.
What is the American idea? What does that mean, ethno-state? What does that mean?
A state specifically for a specific ethnicity.
Did they mean for the people of color to come in and attack them and run them out of their own country, prevent them from speaking up and disagreeing and being accused of everything? Was it created for that purpose by white people?
It was created for the purpose of the free exchange of ideas. And just because, just because your feelings are hurt doesn't mean that we need to take their rights away, does it?
But it goes beyond feelings of hurt. They're trying to push white people over in the ocean now. They don't want them disagreeing. They don't want them speaking up. In the Democratic Party, they don't want them running for politics, really, especially white straight men. And so I'm just concerned that if white men don't start speaking up, it would be like innocent. If you seem like the guy that would speak up. If someone tried to prevent you from speaking up and agreeing or disagreeing, you wouldn't like that, right?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't. I mean, I would support if someone were to speak up against other people that are not letting them, speak and whatnot, because at that point you're violating someone's constitutional rights on speaking and expressing themselves.
So, but is it right? Is it right for white men to be called? They're called white supremacists and all that crap. When they speak up and disagree, they're called names and shut down. Is that right to treat them that way?
I mean, I'm not shutting down. I mean,
no, I know you're not.
To debate the people.
Yeah, I love that.
I love to debate people and have conversations, but I mean, I'm not trying to shut them down. What I'm trying to do, though, is
I'm asking you first. I'm asking you: is it right to shut? You're not trying to shut them down. You're right.
Yeah.
But is it right that white young men and older white men are being shut down when they disagree by calling them names or won't have them on different shows and things like that? Is that right to treat them that way?
No, I don't think it is.
And so they should be speaking up. They shouldn't be called white supremacists and neo-Nazis and all that, right?
I've been called a neo-Nazi white supremacist more than I can count, and I'm a Latino Jew. So, I mean, to be quite honest with you, when people call me those names, it doesn't bother me.
And I agree with you on that. I absolutely agree.
I just look like the better person from the people on the outside. I mean, to be quite honest with you, when I'm debating someone, I'm not trying to influence the person I'm debating. I'm trying to influence the audience. So, when someone starts using personal attacks towards me, I just won the debate. And I look much better than they do.
Well, I absolutely agree. I tell white and all people that don't get angry, speak up, but don't resent. But that way you don't end up getting yourself in a jam. You should speak up, but just don't be angry about it. Don't hold hatred.
Of course.
Do you support homosexuality?
From a religion standpoint, no. I'm an Orthodox Jew, so no, I don't support homosexuality.
How about Turning Point? Does Turning Point support homosexuality?
Well, I don't speak for Turning Point.
Oh, I thought you did. You're an ambassador.
I'm an ambassador. I just promote their stuff. But I can tell you that, to my knowledge, Turning Point does not have a view on social issues.
But are you a Christian? Are you a Christian?
No, I'm Jewish.
And so that guy, the Turning Point founder, Chris Kirk, whatever his name is.
Charlie Kirk, yeah.
Charlie Kirk. He's a Christian, right?
Yeah, he is.
Does he support homosexuality as a norm?
From a religion standpoint?
Period.
I don't think so, no.
And I
can't speak for Charlie.
How about abortion? Does he support abortion?
No, he is absolutely pro-life, and so am I.
Okay, good. So there's a black guy that stunned me, man. I grew up on a plantation, I'm telling you, right?
Yeah.
There's a black guy that's a speaker for Turning Point. His name is, what's his name?
Rob Smith.
Rob Smith.
Yeah.
He said on Tucker Carlson's show that he was a homosexual and that he had a husband. I have never heard a black man say he have a husband, right? It made my Marafro want to turn into an afro. So why would Turning Point allow that type of person who are promoting negative behavior that goes against God and against good? Why would Turning Point allow that guy to go public? I understand that he's supposed to be a conservative, but that stuff he's doing should be kept private with himself. Why is he allowed to promote that and try to be a part of the conservative movement and call himself a Christian?
I mean, again, I can't speak for Turning Point. Personally, in my view, I have no problem with Rob going out, speaking his mind. He is a conservative. He is a really nice guy. I've met him many times. And I don't think his sexuality per se has anything to do with it.
But should he be representing a Christian organization, but yet promoting a negative sexual behavior? It's okay that Turning Point. I don't know if Turning Point Christian or not. Is Turning Point a Christian organization?
It's purely conservative.
Why would they allow these people to come into our party and promote homosexuality? That's what the Democratic Party does. That's why I left the Democratic Party, because once God changed my heart, I was a Democrat, right? And once God changed my heart, I read the platform of the Democratic Party, and it's anti-family, anti-guy, anti-country. Yep. They promote immorality, like lesbians and homosexuals and baby killers and all kind of stuff. Why would Turning Point allow that to be promoted in the conservative movement? We don't want that.
I can't tell you why Turning Point does things, but what I can tell you is when it comes to a philosophical standpoint, Rob Smith is a conservative. And I know many people, Guy Benson, he's on Fox News all the time. He's gay, and he is a conservative.
Is he promoting it?
People know that he's gay.
Is he promoting it, though?
I don't think Rob Smith is promoting homosexuality.
Oh, he's promoting it. That's how I found out. He said he had a husband. Have you ever heard of a man having a husband?
I have.
Have you ever heard of a black man having a husband?
I have, yeah.
Other than Rob Smith?
Other than Rob Smith, probably not. But I'll tell you this.
Does that make your skin want to crawl when you hear Rob Smith say he has, and he got a white husband, he ain't even black?
It doesn't make my skin crawl, because I think here's the idea.
I don't care that he's a homosexual. I just don't want it funny.
Well, it sounds a lot like you do care. Because
no. Keep it to yourself. I want him to keep it to himself, because it's not normal. I don't want the kids to think that that's a normal lifestyle. It's not from God.
Well, I think that's a parenting thing. That's a parenting problem, not really a Rob Smith problem. What do you think that it's the parents, the parent of that child that you're speaking of? Isn't it their responsibility to teach them morals and values and the Christian faith? Isn't it their responsibility to do that? Not really Rob Smith's.
Absolutely. And it's also the responsibility of men and women who say that they've been born again, meaning that they have overcome the fallen state, and now they are perfect examples so that those who are lost can see them and find their way back. And so if you're out, and this guy called himself a Christian, ain't no way in hell or earth that he could be a Christian and be a homosexual.
Can I ask you a question?
Do you agree to that? Do you agree to that?
I'm not a Christian, but
I as a Jew, do you agree to
that? As a Jew, it's not acceptable in the religion. But
right. As a Christian, it's not accepted either.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with Rob Smith being openly gay and being in the Republican Party or in the conservative movement?
I do.
Okay, but didn't Jesus have dinner and send his ministry?
Did Jesus do what?
Didn't he have dinner and eat with prostitutes and tax collectors and all these people?
Right. I would have dinner with Rob Smith, but I would tell him. So why don't you
welcome him in? Because Jesus welcomed all people.
I would tell him he needs to overcome the homosexual stuff, not promote. And Christ came so that he can overcome it, right? So I would tell him that he needs to overcome it. And I would say, you know what? You could be a part of our movement. You could be a part of the Republican Conservative Party, but you can't promote evil. Christ didn't let evil people promote evil. He showed them how to overcome it. That's why he ate with them. That's why he hung out with them.
Allow Rob to come into our movement, because listen.
Not with the homosexual stuff,
Well, let's be honest here. Why are we losing Virginia? Why are we losing all these states? Why are we losing counties? We're losing votes. It's looking great for Trump in 2020, but in the past 2 election years, it hasn't looked too good.
Do you because of the radical homosexuals? That's why. People like Rob Smith.
So Rob Smith is making people vote Democrat.
He's radical homosexual.
How is he a radical homosexual?
I just saw on YouTube the other day, somebody sent it to me, I think. He and that guy he's supposed to be married to, at some point were, I don't know if they still are, they were promoting a LGBTQ STD dating app. That's radical.
They're a dating app
for men,
gay
for
people.
for LGBTQ STD people.
What does Dave Chappelle call it? The alphabet people or something like that?
Yeah. So would a Jew or a Christian who believed in God promote that for people?
Again, that's Rob Smith.
No, I'm asking you, would
personally.
a Jew or a Christian promote that for people? Would they tell them how to overcome it?
I mean, I don't think so. Again, I mean, I'm
Would a Jew or a
individualistic
Christian
person.
promote that type of app for the soul of people?
I said I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I
So
mean,
do
but-
you agree with Rob Smith promoting that?
I don't agree with Rob Smith when it comes to his personal choices.
Oh, okay.
And I think Rob knows that. I mean, Rob, knows me as an Orthodox Jew. He knows that I don't see eye to eye with him when it comes to his personal choices, and I'm pretty sure he understands that there's a lot of people in the conservative movement that don't agree with him personally on his choices in life.
But why are he forcing it on people then by making it so public?
Rob has never forced it on me.
He's doing
personally.
that by making it public.
By making it public.
That he is a male who think he got a husband. That's public.
I mean, I don't see the problem with him. I mean, what's going to happen when he gets an interview and someone says, "Do you have a wife?" He goes, "No, I have a husband." Like, what is he supposed to say at that point?
Bye.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like I don't see an issue with people who are gay that are openly gay to come into the conservative movement. 'Cause,
I do, man. They're gonna corrupt it.
They're gonna, and how has Rob Smith absolutely corrupted the conservative movement? Like, what has
He hasn't
changed
done
since
it
Rob Smith
yet.
came in?
He hasn't done it yet, but he will
Well-
because the more of them that come in and they're like openly lesbians and openly homosexual, they're gonna want to be at your party. They're gonna want to be a part of the celebration with the same person as they are with a man and a woman.
I have a good friend
And
of
then
mine
they're going
back
to want
in
to pass
Pennsylvania.
laws. Once you
Yeah.
let them in, they're going to want the Republicans to agree on laws that fit their need. For an example, Rob Smith want and support openly homosexuality in the military. Do you support that?
I mean, I don't see a reason why someone can't be openly
Do you support open?
in the military.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how that would make any difference. How is
Do
that going
you
to save
support
her?
open homosexuality in the military?
I mean, I'm answering the question. I mean, I don't see how that's going to change anything for the better or the worse.
Do you support it?
I have to look at the piece of legislation and see what it entails.
Do you support open homosexuality in
That's
the
a
military?
vague question. That's a vague question. You have
Okay,
to, I need to
I'll make it
understand
unvague. I'll make it unvague.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want lesbians who are lesbians and men who are homosexuals to be open homosexuals in the military, all hugging and kissing up with their boyfriends and their husbands? Do you want that in the military?
Well, the regulations in the military say that there's no PDA allowed when it comes to being in a uniform. So I don't see an issue if they do that in private.
Do you want that in the military?
If they do it in private, I think it's fine.
No, do you want that in the open homosexuality in the military? You're not answering me, so I'm black and slow. You might not know, but I'm black and I'm slow.
Well, I'm saying, I mean, like, even if you're straight in the military, you're not allowed to
Right.
kiss your wife or anything like that while in uniform.
But that's
It's
not what I
only
asked. I'm
allowed to be
asking you
done in
personally,
private.
as a Jew who believe in God,
I
do
don't
you
use
want
my
that
religion.
openly in the military?
I do not use my religion to justify my beliefs
Well,
in policy.
use your manness. Do you want that in the military?
I don't see a problem with it.
So you're okay with it?
I'm okay with gay people being in the military.
Openly in the military.
You're talking about continuing the don't ask, don't tell laws?
Do you want open homosexual in the military? Yes or no?
I don't see a problem with it.
So is that a yes?
Then I guess that's a yes. But again, it's rather vague.
Amazing. Do your girlfriend know you think this way?
I mean, I'm telling you this. It's like here's the thing. I don't use my religion to put in my opinion for legislation.
But that's
And
not a conservative idea either. Not only is
what?
it not a religious idea, it's not a conservative idea. And that guy, that black guy with the husband, Ross
Husband, yeah.
Smith, he wanted to be open in the military.
I mean, yeah, he's a veteran.
And so that's not. And so when these people come into our conservative party, they are going to be promoting that kind of stuff. And because you guys have accepted the lifestyle for the vote, they're going to say, well, I gave you the vote. You didn't tell me you didn't want that. And now you're going to be forced to accept everything that come with them.
My personal belief when it comes
That
to
makes
gay
sense,
marriage,
though? Does that make sense?
maybe to you.
How about to
not
you?
really to me.
Now that you have accepted them for the vote, when they want laws that agree with what they're into, you're not going to be able to say no to that because you took them
Well,
in
like,
just
what
for the
laws?
vote.
What laws?
I mean,
the-
like open homosexuality, and then they
That's
want to.
already something in the
That don't
military.
mean we got to accept it. Conservatives are not for it,
But that's been a thing already.
but not with us.
So what is not allowing that in the military going to do anything?
I don't think under President
positive.
Trump, didn't he change that law and like you can't do the no
No, and actually,
It's bastard, don't ask, don't
Are you
tell.
a Trump supporter? Are you a Trump supporter?
all the way.
So, are you okay with Trump when he was a private citizen donating millions upon millions of dollars to LGBT communities?
Well, whatever he's done in the past, I don't care. What I'm concerned about is what he
Okay, well,
does now. And he got rid of the transgenders in the military. He's not for all that crap.
Well,
Are you for
was a-
transgenders in the military?
I'm actually personally not, but probably for different reasons than what you think, because I'm for the reasons what the Pentagon put out. It had nothing to do with the fact that they're transgenders. It had everything to do with the medical costs behind transgenders.
Oh, of course.
And it had to
Wink,
do
wink.
Well, it had to do with that because when you look at the statistics behind transgender people and the sort of mental illnesses that come along with being a transgender sometimes, depression, suicide, anxiety, and whatnot.
Well, you got to be depressed to be a man in a dress.
I mean, it's
Can you
practically,
would you ever wear a dress?
with me?
Uh-huh.
Oh no,
Right, because you're not mental, right?
I do not think I'm a woman. No. I mean,
So let me ask you this, and I want to take a few calls for you, all right? Joe, I want to ask, there have been a lot of uproar about Nick's organization and Turning Point.
Yeah.
So apparently Turning Point has been holding town halls across different colleges or universities. And Nick, people would show up because it's supposed to be an open debate, for question and answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's at a public place like a university or something there. Is it true that when these guys show up, they're being shut down by Turning Point?
What do you mean by shut down?
Not allowed to come and ask questions when it's time for the question and answer period?
Oh, that's not true at all. No, I've been to many of culture war events. That's what they're called, culture war events. I've been to many of them, and I was just at the last one was at North Carolina, but I was just at University of Florida's.
Right.
And there was, the majority of the people asking questions were America First people, and we give them the microphone. We let them speak. I have not seen anyone be censored, and if they're saying that, they're lying.
So at UCLA, they had one recently at UCLA with, and I don't know, I wasn't there, right? With Donald Trump's son and the Turning Point guy, Charlie or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And when they opened it up for the question and answer, Nick people went down to ask questions during the question and answer, and I was told that they cut it off. They shut it down because of them. Is that true?
I wasn't at UCLA, but to my knowledge, from the people I know that were there, they actually didn't even start the Q&A in general. Like there wasn't even a Q&A period. So they didn't bring people up and then shut it down like nothing. It just never happened. They just ended the event right there.
So they canceled the Q&A. There never was one.
No, there was never a Q&A.
Oh, okay.
To my knowledge.
There's also a rumor out there that Turning Point favor talking to the Democrats over the right side of the people. Is that true?
What do you mean by favoring?
They would they prefer to have the Democrats come down and ask questions and answer, debate the Democrats, rather than having the people on the right come down and ask questions.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, probably not. I think it depends on the person. Like, I personally, I don't care who you are. I'll debate you, and I think a lot of people are like that. But I mean, I don't think as an organization anything. I mean, again, I don't speak for Turning Point, so.
Oh, okay. And so one last point about that I got to squeeze this one call. There was supposed to be a Q&A at the Don Jr. event. And it was advertised as having a Q&A, but they canceled it on the spot.
I mean, I don't know how things run behind the scenes. There's probably a schedule change or something. I mean, we don't know. I personally, I'm not in charge of the events. I'm not in charge of anything like that. I'm not in charge of anything at Turning Point. And I wasn't at the UCLA event. So, I mean, there could have been a schedule change. There could have been many different things. And I mean, that was something to promote Don Jr.'s book, by the way.
Right. I remember that part.
Yeah.
So America First has expressed criticism of America's relationship with Israel. What do you think about that?
Well, all right. So the way that they're going around it, they're always talking about foreign aid, and that's all they really talk about. And to my personal view, I think that the way that talk about foreign aid is actually with anti-Semitism, because they always talk about we're giving so much foreign aid to Israel, we need to stop giving foreign aid to Israel, but they're not talking about all the other countries. They never, ever, ever talk about any other countries we give foreign aid to. And then that, in turn, is anti-Semitic. And I don't throw those words around. I hope you understand that. Very rarely would I ever do that.
But why does it have to be anti-Semitic to disagree with that? I mean, in America, we have the freedom, like this Rob
Smith.
Rob Smith got it, with the black man with the black husband. I totally disagree, but it's not personal, so I don't call him names and say he's anti-Christian and all that.
I'm not calling people names. I'm calling out for what they really are. That's the thing. It's Nick Fuentes and his followers have not only, and I'll tell you this, they have not only called only cutting foreign aid only to Israel, not to Japan, not to South Korea, not to Germany, not to all these other countries, only Israel. By targeting the only Jewish state in the world that is anti-Semitic in turn. And I can even give you more proof that they're anti-Semitic, because the comments and the tweets that I've been getting online for the past month or so, blatantly anti-Semitic comments, denying the Holocaust on my social media, saying that they're going to find me, they want to hang me and stuff like that just because I'm Jewish. So this is an anti-Semitic movement, inherently.
Yeah, I don't know. All this stuff is new to me, so I don't really know. I love Israel.
Yeah.
I love Israel. By the way, I grew up loving Israel. I have Jewish friends who think that America needs to stop supporting Israel. Are they anti-Semitic too?
Stop supporting Israel in the sense of what?
Foreign aid, I think they told me. Whatever that means.
Foreign aid?
Yeah.
Are they also for cutting foreign aid to other countries?
I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't even think of Nick that way until you just said it. So I don't know. I don't know that about Nick, and I don't know that about them. But I will ask them.
That's the question that you have to ask.
So if these Jewish friends of mine for cutting foreign aid to Israel and only Israel, would that make them anti-Semitic?
Makes them definitely anti-Zionist. I mean, again, that's a hypothetical. I mean,
right.
I'd highly doubt they would say only Israel.
I'm going to ask them, man. What does anti-Zionist mean?
Against the state of Israel.
Oh.
Or the belief of a state of Israel.
So one last question, then I'm going to the phones. So you agree with me that homosexuality is wrong and not of God, right?
From a religion standpoint, yes.
How about from a God standpoint?
Yeah, from a God standpoint.
Oh, okay.
Wrong.
Let's go to Vincent out of North Carolina. Hey, Vince, thank you for calling. You're on with my guest.
Hey,
Hi.
What's his name?
Hold on a minute.
I'm Joe. Hi.
Joe.
Okay. Hey, Joe. How are you?
How's it going, man?
Okay, Joe. So I've got a few questions.
boy.
So I've listened to this whole thing, and you've lied about Nick quite a few times on this.
Okay.
You said he associates with Richard. I mean, he used to, but they're no longer talking. They're no longer on speaking terms. You
They
said
broke up,
that there's a divide in the conservative movement. We're not conservatives. Nobody on the far right is a conservative, and you kind of realize that, right?
So, are you saying that you're not a conservative?
No,
you support Nick
literally
Fuentes?
no. Yeah, of course, yeah. Yep.
So
Okay.
are you saying that Nick Fuentes is not a conservative?
Well, he's not a conservative in the way that Joe is, in the way that
Well,
the
you just
Republicans
proved my
are.
point. You just proved my point. I said that they're so not conservative that they're more left than they are right. That's
Sure,
exactly
yeah,
what I said.
we are, yeah. So
There you go,
yeah,
thank
but
you.
the way you defined it from the beginning wasn't. I mean, you kind of said that they were conservatives, but as long as we get that cleared up. So, let
But
me ask you this.
conservatism, do you guys, both of you, do you agree that conservatism is about morality?
No,
It has a lot
I
to do
don't
with
know.
morals and values, yes.
Do you
I've
agree?
got more important questions.
Do you agree with that, Vince?
Kind of, I guess. I don't know.
You're not
But let me ask-
you're not a moral guy.
Sure, no, Jesse, I agree. But can I ask him something else?
Yeah,
So,
real
Joe,
fast.
did you put value on identity? Is identity important to you?
Is identity important to you? To me?
Yes, yep.
Not necessarily. I think ideas are.
Ideas are. So identity, so you being Jewish means nothing to you. It shouldn't be important to you.
The idea
So
of
how can you
Judaism
support?
is
How can
important
you
to me.
say that and support Israel, sir? Do you see how that's not? Do you see how that's a contradiction?
I don't actually. Can you explain yourself?
You say that identity shouldn't be important to you or anybody, right? This is what you guys palette as your, all the conservatives say it shouldn't be important, it shouldn't be relevant. But here you are supporting Israel, saying that the Jews in Israel, the Jewish identity should be important to them. That's something that they value, right?
Let me
Should
just
Israel
say,
allow the
hey,
should
Vince. The one thing that I don't understand about the people on the so-called right, they're not clear as to what they're about.
Yeah.
And you guys, because now, Vince, you got me confused. I don't know if you're about morality or if you're about conservatism or what you're about. You guys need to drop the anger so that you could be clear what you're about. You're
Yeah, he's a little angry.
confusing the people.
Okay.
Right.
Should Israel be a Jewish state?
Yes.
Okay, so the Jewish identity should be important to the Israelis.
Yes.
Okay, but it shouldn't be important to white Americans.
This country was not founded to be an ethno-state. This country was not founded to be
what
a
does that
white
mean?
Christian.
So,
To be specifically of an
this is the whole
ethnicity.
point.
This
Yeah,
is
I mean,
a Judeo-Christian nation.
The Constitution was based on Judeo-Christian morals and values. This is, this country was not founded to be specifically a Christian government, a Christian country.
But no one else
you're-
is allowed to. It is specifically to be a Christian country. No one else is allowed to come in and turn it into something else. That's what's happening right now.
It's based on the
So he-
Constitution.
And
So
that's
you
what's
support
gonna.
ethno-states, Joe?
That's what's gonna happen. Thank you, Vince. That's what's gonna happen when you allow these homosexuals to come into the Republican Party. They're gonna
Well-
turn it into something else.
Then why do we have a First Amendment right for freedom of religion?
We have that, but they have to keep their private stuff to themselves
I don't see a law that says that.
because we don't. We know that.
I mean, I go around wearing a kippah, right? I go around wearing the funny Jewish hat, but I mean, I'm not keeping it private. People know I'm Jewish.
But so is wearing a Jewish hat the same as having a husband as a man?
I mean, I'm being openly Jewish.
So is that the same as being an open homosexual?
I don't know how that correlates.
But why did you compare that to Rob Smith and what they're
No,
going to do?
I didn't. You are. I mean, all I said was we. You said that yes, you have the freedom of religion, but you have to keep it private. And I said, well, no.
No, you
'cause
don't
I
have to
told them
keep your
to keep it.
religious private, but you have to keep your perverted lifestyle private.
I mean, I don't see any legislation that says that.
I mean, don't your values say that, or do your values say that?
My values say that if you are under this, my specific religion, that you should not partake in certain activities.
Would you want Rob Smith coming over to your house for a party with his husband?
I would love to have Rob Smith to come over.
With his husband,
Why not?
and you would celebrate that?
Celebrating their marriage.
You would accept a wrong as a right.
I would celebrate what?
A wrong as a right.
I'm not celebrating their marriage. I mean,
Is that a real? No, I'm
I
asking.
didn't go to his wedding. I'm not going to go to his wedding.
So,
personally.
is that a real marriage or a fake marriage? It's not real, an illusion.
According to my religion, it's not valid under Jewish law.
It's an illusion, right?
I mean, theoretically speaking, yes.
Okay.
If Rob and his husband were Jewish, then it would be not valid under Jewish law.
And it's not valid under Christian law either.
Okay.
Let me just say, I really admire you for coming on. I respect that because I tried to get that Rob Smith guy and the Turning Point guy to come on, but they're cowards and they won't come.
Well,
They don't really believe what they believe. They can't be challenged, so they won't come. They're cowards. Let me talk to Bobby out of Nashville, Tennessee. Bobby, you're on with Joe.
Hey, guys. I have a couple of questions for Joe. Hey, Joe,
Awesome.
do you think that American citizens should be allowed to boycott Israel?
yeah.
So why is there a anti-BDS sign behind your screen there, behind your mic on your right?
Because I have the right to also call out on people's BS. I have the right to say that I disagree with them, just like you have the right to say you disagree with me.
Yeah.
Bobby,
Okay.
do you love the Jews?
Yeah.
Do you love Israel?
The country Israel?
Uh-huh.
No.
You don't, and why not?
Because they are the number one recipient of U.S. aid. I'm against aid.
So
They
True.
attacked us.
how can you love Israel is our friend, and how can you love the people but not the country? How do you separate the two?
Well, there's a lot. I know a lot of Jewish people who are against Israel.
I know, but I'm asking
they-
you personally. Are you a Christian?
No.
Oh, well, that's why then. Are you Jewish?
No.
Oh, well, you're an atheist.
I'm agnostic.
Well, you don't have any love. You love nobody.
Well,
You don't love
Well,
anyone.
I do love the Jews. I don't love any
No, you
country
don't.
except for America.
Atheists don't have love. That's why they're atheists.
The only country I love is America. That's the only country
No,
in
you
the whole
don't.
world that I
If you
love.
don't love all, you love none. And that's just reality. Isn't that right,
Fair
Joe?
point. Yep, it's a fair point.
So you don't, and that's why you guys are making yourself look bad, Bobby, because you have no love. You could
So much
disagree. You could disagree, but don't hate. I don't agree with this man with the husband. He's embarrassing black people. Talking about he got a husband. That's not the black way to go. But I don't hate him. I'll debate him. I have him over for dinner and his husband, but I have to correct them. I won't go along with wrongdoing. And are you the same way, Joe?
I mean, I would love to have dinner with Rob and his husband. I mean,
Would you dance
again,
with the husband?
Would I dance?
Uh-huh.
No. No, I don't dance with any guys.
And
I don't.
so what would you do if you got up to have dinner? I mean, start the music, and they're like, "Come on, Joe, let's dance. Come on, Joe, let's dance." Would you say no? I'm not dancing with you, or would you be too weak to say no?
No, I'm a very blunt guy. Come on, I would not. I would not.
Well, you need to.
No.
Since you work with Turning Point as an ambassador, you need to be honest with that. These people can come into our party, but they can't bring the crap. They have to keep that to themselves.
Yep. Okay.
That makes sense?
Sure.
Will you stand up and say, no, I don't mind you coming in, but we're not promoting your lifestyle.
Honestly,
Would you stand with me on that, Joe? At least.
I am not okay with promoting a lifestyle like that. But when it comes to accepting people like that, I think it should be completely fine.
What does that mean, accept them?
Allowing them to join the party and join the conservative movement.
But as long as they keep the rest quiet, I don't want them somebody they got a husband when they're a man, or if they're lesbians talking about they got a wife.
If they happen to be having a husband or a wife and they want, their husband or wife to come to a conservative dinner or whatever, a conference or something, I think that should be allowed. I don't think why
But
shouldn't it
do
be
you
allowed?
want them kissing at the conference?
I personally don't like to see that,
But that's what they're gonna do. And the moment you say, "What
that's
the?"
a hypothetical, and
then
an
they're gonna
assumption.
say, "Well, I'm not voting for you then, since you're not for it." And so now you're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Well, then I say okay.
So will you tell Rob Smith and the Turning Point guy to come on the show?
I'll tell him I went on the show and that you requested them.
And you like me, right?
I think you're a nice guy.
Right. And why do you think I'm a nice guy?
Oh, you're cordial. You're being nice to me. You're being respectful, unlike most people. So that's good.
And so do you love the so-called alt-right? Do you love them?
I love them as people.
Do you see them as wrong for speaking up?
No, of course not.
Will you make it the next time you guys hold your little town halls? Will you make sure that they're allowed to ask questions as well?
They already have the right to ask a question. They always have. They always have. You look at the live streams. I can send you links to live streams of Turning Point events, and you'll see that they always ask questions.
Yeah, send me that. I would love to see that.
Sure. Love
Okay.
to.
And the last question: would you debate? Have you ever debated Nick Fronte? Is it Fronte?
I have not debated Nick.
Will you
and
debate Nick?
I would love to debate Nick, and I have said that many times, and he is too scared to debate me.
So, if I could get Nick to come on the show, would you come on my show with Nick?
We can talk about it.
Would you do it if Nick agrees to it?
I think we could work something out.
Would you agree to it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
All right. How can people get your show, your website or whatever?
Just look me up on Instagram, Twitter, at Joe Basrawi. JoeBasrawi.
Thank you, Joe. You're an amazing guy.
Thank you so much.
And don't ever accept a wrong as a right, because the moment you accept it, you believe in it. The moment you believe in it, it controls you.
I appreciate it.
Thank
you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right, buddy. I got to take a break, folks. One more hour to go. I'm going to take all of your calls when I come back. Back in a moment.
Only concern now is I don't let you down as a father. My biggest